Hello, my name is Gary Stauffer, an applications engineer for SPX Cooling Technologies, and today I want to talk about the Marley MC Series coupling. We're going to talk about the when and how of when we should change the flexible element of this closed coupling. Today we have a setup between our motor and gearbox of the MC07 series coupling. This one here is two electric galvanized hubs and a rubber flexible element in between. So we're going to take and we're going to remove this flexible element here. In order to do this, you back off the bolts on each of the rings, the retention rings on it. Now you don't have to take the bolts and you don't have to fully remove them. Just get them to where they're all loose and that ring will slide on out. Do the same thing on the opposite side. So our MC series couplings are installed, factory installed, and aligned at the factory. But after a period of operation, typically around a 7-year service life, it is a good idea to change your flex element for good continuous service from your mechanical assembly. We recommend when you do your 5-year oil change on your gearbox is the best time to change the flex element. And that way you are guaranteed that you're going to have good service life. So have backed off both rings, and there's a gap in the flex element. And so we're going to pull it apart, and we're going to remove it. So as you can see, once we remove the coupling, and we inspect it closely, you can start seeing some cracking and checking right around where the ring was. You may additionally see further cracking and checking of the rubber flex element as it's been degraded over time and due to the climate and the conditions, or even UV degradation. It may even have some white chalkiness that may be on the outside edge of it. So once you have the old flex element removed, now is a great time to check and make sure that your motor and your gear reducer are properly aligned. In your MC torque coupling user's manual, you'll be able to see what the appropriate setting distance is, C. We will check that in just a minute. And then we will also use a straight edge to check to make sure that we are within the tolerance of a 1/16 of an inch in a couple of different places. The values for each of the MC series couplings, setting distance C is listed for each one of the series. In our particular case, max distance is 1.5 inches, so let's check that. Utilize a tape measure, measuring outside edge to outside edge. Looks like we are at 1 3/8, which is within the 1.5 inches. So our setting distance between the two flanges is appropriate. So next we want to check the alignment. So you want to use a straight edge, and we want to try and look to see if it is within a 1/16 of an inch. This is more like 1/8 of an inch. So we will definitely need to make an adjustment side to side. So this will take requiring loosening up your motor and gear reducer feet to get those back within a 1/16 of an inch. We also want to check top to bottom. That's right at about a 1/16 of an inch. So you probably wouldn't have to adjust that, but maybe we could adjust by putting shims underneath the gear reducer front foot and make that a little bit closer so that it all falls within tolerance. So next we're going to take our new flex element, and with our rings backed off, open it up, slide it on over, and now we're ready to start tightening. As you wrap it together, you should leave only about 1/8 of an inch gap between the two ends, and then we can start tightening our rings back together. So as you notice, I don't have to move the motor, I don't have to move the gearbox. Very simple installation of replacing the flex element. One thing that's very important is once you have everything back tight is in your user manual. You'll see right here, detail 3 table gives you a torque for what the bolts are for each of the series of MC couplings. In this particular case, it's the MC07, so we need to torque each of these bolts to 24 foot-pounds. So you can take a torque wrench and apply the torque and get it to 24 foot-pounds. So there's our completed assembly. Again, a great time to replace that flexo element is at the 5-year oil change interval. Again, this is Gary Stauffer with SPX Cooling Technologies.